The software used to program Arduinos, which is confusingly called Arduino as well, is called an Integrated Development Environment, or IDE. Most of the time when a person creates a program, it is within the framework of this environment. In layperson's terms, you need the program running, the Arduino IDE, to successfully send code to your board. Let's go over the environment and learn about its details. First, however, we are going to learn how to download the Arduino IDE. First, go to arduino.cc and click on the menu item Download. Once you get to the page, scroll down until you find Arduino IDE. This is the latest version of the operating system, and then there are different versions for the three main operating systems: Windows, Mac, and Linux. It's mostly pretty self-explanatory. You just click on it, you download it, you follow the directions. Sometimes, however, you do have difficulties, and in that case, I suggest going over to Getting Started, and then it will give you more explicit instructions, including screenshots, and it's very simple, and it's totally foolproof. So you might as well just download it and install it. And if you have any difficulties, just go to Getting Started. Now, depending on when you view this, there might be a beta version of Arduino as well. I just suggest leaving it alone. If you're just starting out, then let's just stick with the main version, which is at the time that I'm recording this is 1.0.5. And there you have it. That's how to download the Arduino IDE. Okay, you've downloaded the software and installed it. Now let's go over the IDE. All right, under File, this just has the classic file system navigation tools like Open and New and Save. There's a couple of them that are of interest. Sketchbook. The Sketchbook is your folder on your computer that contains, is the default location for your sketches, which are the Arduino programs. You don't have to store your programs there. I personally do not. However, it's very convenient if you do, because whenever you click on Sketchbook, all your work pops up. Examples is another interesting one. When you're trying to learn how to program your own sketches, it's convenient to be able to look at other people's software, because in doing so you learn how to do the tricks that they're doing in their programs. And it's considered like perfectly normal and reasonable that people share their software, because that helps everyone get better. So anyway, under examples, you're going to find a whole bunch of sketches that you can access, and we will definitely explore these in great detail throughout this series of lessons. But right now we're just going to look at them. Basically, if you want to learn how to do something, probably the first place you should check are your examples. All right, now we'll go on to Edit. Again, this is a lot of standard things like cut and paste. There are a couple of interesting things, and this relates to formatting. If you copy as HTML, it will copy the sketch so it looks like it's all formatted for programming. And copy for forum is a similar thing, except it is for purposes of pasting into the Arduino forums so you can get feedback on your sketch. Next on the list is comment and uncomment. In the programming world, when you want to toggle something so that it is not read by the Arduino, you treat it as a comment. This is kind of like if you want to say something to someone who looks at your code, but you don't want the Arduino to interpret your comment as code, you treat it as a comment. So this menu option lets you make something a comment or return it back to being normal code. The indents relate to formatting the code on the screen. It's not something that's terribly important, but it is helpful to make the code more readable. And find, that's just like the normal way that you use find in any document where it looks for the next string. Now let's go up to sketch. Verify and compile. That is if you are ready to send your code to the Arduino. The verification involves the IDE looking over the code and making sure there aren't any errors. And then when it compiles it, it converts it into machine language and sends it on to the Arduino to program the Arduino. Show sketch folder. That's just the folder that the sketch currently is in. Every sketch by rule has to be inside of a folder. Add file and import library. Those are ways of adding codes for a library, for instance, into your sketch. It just is just an easy way of doing it, and we'll go into more of that later, but right now that's way advanced for you. All right. Next, let's look at the options that are under the tools menu. This is a very interesting menu. You can do a lot of cool things. Auto format. The sketches as they appear on your screen will be formatted a certain way, with some lines indented a certain amount, or the spacing is different on different lines. And that's just to help you look at it better, and auto format will do it for you if you type in your code by hand. Archive sketch will just zip up your Arduino sketch and all the associated files and put it in a zip file so you could share it with someone else. Fix encoding and reload involves font problems where certain accent characters will be represented by a series of numbers and symbols, like an encoding, and this tool will help repair that if you have those weird codes appearing. The serial monitor is a very cool thing. It helps you know what's going on in the Arduino via the USB cable, and we're going to explore this in great detail in a future lesson. The board option lets you choose which Arduino board you wish to send your sketch to, and the serial port gives you the option of which serial port you wish to connect to your Arduino through. And this is something that you more or less don't have to worry about in my experience. Sometimes you have to try a different one if you're having difficulties, but for the most part it's pretty easy. And lastly, a programmer and burn bootloader. I'm just going to suggest you not worry about those right now. Those are pretty advanced topics that you should probably just avoid, because particularly burn bootloader might even damage your Arduino. Lastly, we have help. The help files are stored in the Arduino software on your computer, so if you want to find out what's going on with your Arduino difficulties offline, then it's all on your computer. So just type in a question and learn how to do it. All right, before we're done, let's just look at a couple more things here. First of all, this is the default name of your sketch, and it's November 25th when I open this, so it creates the file name with the month and date. And then this is the version of software you're using. Here's an icon for the serial monitor. As I mentioned, this is a very cool tool for helping you learn what's going on in your sketch as it runs. This verifies that your code is viable and will be able to be run on your Arduino. It won't verify or upload if there are any difficulties. Upload, that's obvious. When you're ready to send your sketch to your Arduino, you click that button. New helps you create a new sketch. Open opens an existing sketch. And save saves whatever you have open at the time. This is a tab selector over here. If you have a bunch of tabs open, it will help you select the one you want. This right here is the main work area. I'm just going to open up a sketch now. File, examples. Blink is a classic starter one. Notice it opens it up in a new window. Um, and so this is your main work area, and these two bars down here are for error messages. The black ones are messages when you encounter a problem during uploads, uh, and and then finally at the bottom you can see what kind of Arduino you have connected and your COM port. Lastly, on this page, let's look at these things that are down here. This number right here refers to what line of code you are on. For instance, I just highlighted 6 lines there, and now it says 9 to 15. So if you're trying to localize a problem, having the line number is very helpful. Over on the right, it will tell you what kind of Arduino the software is set to encode to. And then this is the serial port. You can see Bluetooth PDA sync down here as well. And there you have it. Those are the main menu options for the Arduino. And we are ready to finish up this tutorial. Alright, that's it for lesson 3. In the next tutorial, I'll show you how to plug in your Arduino, pull up a program, and upload it to the board.